I thought I'd read from the last section of In Light of Stars. It has 4 sections. I think of the book as a lot of it is elegy, but the last section is perhaps the light. And I thought I would just read a handful of poems from that 4th and final section of the book, and then maybe a couple new things that I've been working on. And here with In Light of Stars, I think I'll just go poem to poem because they all kind of, to me, go together. I won't say too much, but on the new things, I'll have some comments. So, this one's called Sanctuary. In a bathtub at the Sanctuary Motel, water to my waist, listening to the faucet exchange warm for cold, more drops than drips, drops like drums, drums like dreams. The syncopation takes me back to a duplex, a kitchen, sink, my father bent over me, white plastic tub between his arms. He sings Fly Me to the Moon. One hand steadies my shoulders while the other orbits my chest with soap. Each time the refrain comes round, he croons, in other words, hold my hand. His voice is a ballad of vanilla and oak. It's about the music, I know. It's always about the music. But someone has to make it. Someone has to push or pull, stroke or touch. My eyes can make a day of night or night of day. I can index a second with smell, make a tsunami with my hips. I can recall blue songs in my chest that cause the tile walls to hum. What do I make of the warmth when the water is drained away? Daughter, it's Christmas time once more, the end of the year, and we're under the weather, the season here, but not quite 2 weeks off, asleep by 9 on the living room couch. When she appears at the base of the stairs, handrail wrapped in ribbons, lights rising up the banisters, leading us up into the night, suddenly holy with stars. Between them, fish are boiling the mirrored water of our cove this morning, a sound like small waves pushed ashore. 2 cormorants circle the bait ball, sending silver mackerel spinning skyward toward the sun. I can see the teeming birds work the dark, salty water, between them the shadows of their longing. Like you and I, drawn to the windows each day, or whatever light trips the vacancy, you perhaps with what you let in to your box of room and mirrors, me with the names of words that got away. Kairos. The morning after Thanksgiving, an offshore wind stands up waves and calms the sea. Not a bird on the feeder. This morning, a loose skirt of bark uncovers the eucalyptus leggy branches. To give thanks is to expose everything to nothing. Beat of memory, sound of flying overhead. In the salvia, a blur of invisible hunger, motion before a great and open window. This one's called Albatross. Great bird, who'd have thought you'd fly so far? Soul on wings, motionless over the surface that once swallowed you, climbing, diving toward ship's stern, veering back again. If all grief leads back to the world, what course takes you? Aren't we all grounded by the same calm? Snow loads the slopes of the forbidden plateau, ice binds the current of the Lemaire. Time was a place to cut out the hardness, chop the frozen drift. Listen, the ice is breaking, one berg on another. Glide, proud bird, stillness is making speed. And maybe two last ones from In Light of Stars. This one's called Useful Island, and there actually is an island in one of the straits off the coast of Antarctica called Useful Island. It's night on the black water of the Gerlache Strait, night in the souls of passing bergs, night in the breast of Albatross and Cape Kestrel, and in the crevasses on Mount Parry and Baldwin Peak. It's night in the portholes of passing ships and in the spirits of explorers, bold, kind, polar night. And the night takes up the gaunt shadows of evening, repatriating each absence to the blackboard sky, returning memory as stars whose journeys arrive like dust, penned to the slate, awaiting more layers of dust. And the sea archives its ice as islands pancaked on the surface, broken by the blues of summer, rejoined as clouds, the color of new snow. And this is the title poem, In the Light of Stars. If you sit without motion, starlight makes holes in the night. Sky liquid, strained, so many years in silence, the milky essence of childhood streaks through. What is there to say of what binds us? What passes through the night without changing burns out, wants someone to burn with. Brother, it's not for us to relive the bruises the body becomes, unseen, unknown. I hope you've been drawn somewhere beautiful, held by someone tight in the creamy light of the moon. There are so many stars looking for a constellation to join. Tonight, let us partner the light, imagine a line that connects each astral point, makes a story we can tell ourselves when it's dark or beginning to rain. I've been playing with a bunch of very different kind of poems for what will become some new collection, and they tend to be more just one-off rather than collected the way this last poem was. This one is called Somewhere. It's written about a trip to one of the islands off the coast of Maine you can go to by ferry called Monhegan. Somewhere. This is for the woman at the Gulbranson on Monhegan, where we waited for the ferry in the general store, in our wet clothes out of the rain, the window creamy with fog, you with your reclaimed father, him with his new wife, the piano with the woman with oversized, elegant wrists, and me with you, wanting to be claimed the way the sea claims loose pilings with its rising and makes this old pier sway. This one goes way back to, I think, the high school days where I ended up getting a summer job through my father at one of his retirement communities that he ran. And I met quite a cast of characters that I worked with. This one's called Young Entrepreneur. Mike Zajac, Ukrainian rug and carpeting man who laid whatever he could between the walls of my father's retirement home, who taught me to turn the lights off at work and roll myself like a joint in the carpet to hide from the boss. The glow in his eyes when Donna, who cleaned the south wing, traded lunch for a roll in the pile. Mike taught me how to seam unmarried remnants he hid in his Chevy van, heating the tired pieces with a gun-like tool so he could sell them to the landscapers or crazy plumber whose trusty laugh boiled up like the carburetor of his Shelby Mustang each Friday at 3:50 when the whole crew led off for the Jersey Shore. Expected. I expected the silence, the stillness, late November, when the leaves no longer partition light. We took our Thanksgiving for what it was, nothing more. Returned home to the point, ocean one side, cove on the other. Like an island, I want to say, I was in love with the night. The lights of homes between the boatyard and the Coast Guard station, the inward lit rooms, and the sea glassy with reflection. I could see the islands in all their amplitude. I expected that too, and I thank the sky for its endless charity. This one's called Shoulder Season. Almost Easter in the squares and plazas of Europe, and women's shoulders are beginning to appear, tank tops, church-like in celebration, racer-back straps, like flying buttresses, engineered and architectural, sustaining the eye to naves of worship. Here in the North Country, the first hatch of mayflies have set their small tents on the icy rivers. No mouths, no stomachs. They live and love recklessly, just a day. Mid-morning, when the sun warms, they swell proud as hymns in the sacred air. And I'll leave you just with two more here. This one's called Repair. We repaired to the distance between us, my loss, her ex in Oregon, mine soon in Maine or California, two of many things we never spoke about. I bought her chocolate-covered orange rinds, bitter, fruitless, welded with sweet, dark cream. She sent me exotic letters that took a week crossing the country. I imagined in tandem trucks over mountain passes where avalanches divide and heal the landscape. She made love irredeemable and true. And one last one, thank you all for listening here. This is called Letting the Light In. Even now, this early, I'm learning to let the light in. From my office, November light, the birches, leafless, bark wounds emboldened to reveal another layer of skin. The wet asphalt of a McCown Point road, blue with reflection. A runner passes in bright clothes, looks in, imagines the dark stories of our lives. Every one is true. The road to town has many windows, double hung for tradition, picture for potential, palladium for worship, ocular for air. I once knew a man who built a complete wall of windows on the side of his apartment that overlooked a large city, covered it in dark one-way film. Contrast is how the world gets in. Detail is how it remembers. How do we make our skin transparent? Make the mullions of our bones disappear? Gang panes of light so that the dividers go away? There was a place I once sat at the window of a small hotel in a foreign city watching strangers pass. Red, green, and black umbrellas on the street below, and a couple so clear I could see the expressions of the souls within. At night, the room exhaled clouds of light that returned to earth and pooled as glass on the sidewalk. You see, you can live inside out or outside in, but only one way at a time. That's the problem with intimacy. You must choose. You must choose how to let the light in.